the you that you've taken yourself to be isn't what you thought yourself to be. Human beings are just completely inseparable waves of the ocean. That's what the whole is doing at that moment as that particular pattern of consciousness is already totally whole. That's the primordial original condition. Before any of our ideas and before any of our concepts or interpretations or assumptions about it, it's all made of the same stuff. It's all one, and it's all somehow inexplicably perfect and whole beyond human understanding.
What is the nature of any experience? Just explore how you experience anything. It's through the senses, and the senses are nothing but knowing, awareness, experiencing. That's all you ever find. You don't find an object, you just find subjectivity. Reality must be this. You can't experience anything other than reality, and you can't be anything other than reality. Reality does not have to appear a certain way, feel a certain way. That is the end of the search, and then the relaxation into what was always here. You're listening to the Nonduality podcast. This is Nic Higham from nisargayoga.com, and here with me, as usual, is Paul Dobson.
Everything isn't quite as clear cut as you thought it was. That's what attracted me to Advaita in the first place, is, wow, these people are investigating what's going on here, really like looking into it deeply and assuming nothing. So you might as well go inwards and investigate what you are and what situation you're actually in, you know?
Yes.
What is this?
That is the question, isn't it? Yeah.
Experiencing is experiencing. And then you take away the word experiencing and you've got your answer.
That's it.
That's basically what's happening.
And we can leave it there. End of episode.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we've got, isn't it? That is all we've got. Whether you're in the deepest depths of a samadhi or you're just, going to work. I mean, what's it all made of? Experiencing. That's already 100% present.
Yeah.
At every moment. So you can just cut straight through it to kind of, so to speak, straight to the source of infinity or God or whatever you want to call it, reality, which is experiencing. Obviously experiencing itself, so the word experiencing doesn't make any sense anymore. If it's experiencing itself, it's just but the best we've got probably as far as words go is experiencing. We've given ourselves a little kind of wink and a nudge in the right direction, like just kind of like a little kind of peek at the poker hand we've got and gone, oh, by the way, you're already that. So at any point, all you need to do is notice that fact. All of experience is saturated with infinity. And that is your advantage as an apparent human being, is you can just notice that you aren't a human being noticing infinity, you're infinity noticing yourself. And the human being is kind of an outgrowth, something infinity's doing, a shape infinity's playing at for a while, and it can just, you're already there, you're completely already there. The problem we have with this though is we think it's meant to feel like something being already there. It's like, oh, I can't already be there because it feels terrible. Like I feel like I'm in my terrible human life. But notice that it can appear as absolutely anything. It doesn't mean you're suddenly relieved of it not feeling great. It's like it's like a whole change of perspective. You just stood on top of the platform or you got a bird's eye view suddenly and you're like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Because it's all the same stuff. You look at any single part of it and it's just infinity.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's it. We can start anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Whether we start with that mode of awareness called seeing, sight, or with a feeling, with anything, because it's all just a doorway, isn't it, to the same truth.
Yes.
Just explore how you experience anything. It's through the senses, and the senses are nothing but subjectivity. That's all you ever find. You don't find an object, you just find subjectivity. And if that isn't mind-blowing, if that doesn't sort of shatter the whole need to search, then I don't know what would. Because there is only you, there is only that reality, and there's nothing else to search for.
I mean, you go, okay, touch feels different from seeing. You absolutely take it for granted. Your eyes are like a window to a world that's already there.
Yeah. From that point, you've got this subject-object equation.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go directly as possible, without stumbling over that preconceived notion that these eyes are basically just a window where something is looking out to something that's already pre-existing, and you just take it as direct experience. Where is the outside world? There's no separation there. It's just pure experience of conceptless non-duality, simultaneously labelled by this labelling computer we call the mind. There we've got a whole world. We split it into a million different bits. And this is the key point. We don't ever question these assumptions. It's just one seamless flow, and there's nothing apart from it. One experience, whatever experience is, you know?
Yeah. Take that statement, I am seeing an object, and dive into each aspect of that statement. So what is an object? The mind labels it as something, and that's possible through what we call thought, which gives it some kind of meaning. Seeing, thinking, perceiving are all knowing.
Yeah.
The object is nothing other than knowing. I am seeing an object. What is I?
We've taken it to be a personal I, of course, but it isn't an I am this body, it's I am everything I experience. That creative force has to be what you are if you trace it back far enough. It's just tracing it back. It's just tracing it back to going, I'm actually the whole reality. There's no thing that's apart from it. Our advantage is we're human beings that seem to have this consciousness or experience or whatever you want to call it. And we can look back at that and go, oh, what is this? And trace it back.
That's it.
You're already completely free of the human thing at all times. The second you feel like you're suffering or something's annoying you or something, it's like, could it be that infinity has dressed itself up as this experience, you know, just to kind of catch itself up in this kind of cosmic game it's playing?
Based on knowing of this, which is you could call the known, and therefore nothing but knowing, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what comes down to is like you said, you can't say for sure what's happening right now.
It's easy to recognise that you have no clue about what is happening or why anything is happening. But what we can say with certainty is that there is happening. Like, there's a happening. What is happening or what I am, I don't know. And I can't say that I'm different or removed from that happening. So I am I happening.
Yeah. You can go back, you can strip lots of layers back. You can't get rid of this happening because there's something which is always there.
No.
And it's not a thing, it's a flowing isness. And it's what people refer to as awareness. What it is limitless, non-spatial, and it's timeless. Space and time appear within it. It's not made of space and time. So it's infinite, yet it's all there is.
Yeah.
You can't picture it in any possible way, yet all the picturing is made of it.
The I that knows is pure subjectivity. And what is subjectivity but knowing? So it is knowing knows knowing. Awareness, aware of awareness, experiencing.
Yeah.
It's intimate, it's undisturbed, it's full, but empty fullness, it's ever present. The very nature of all things. It's just absolutely palpably here, now. It's irreducible. It's dynamic because it can change and shift and appear in any way. Yet it's still, and yet it's silent.
Yeah, it's incredible as what it is as well. It's all that is. The infinite is just wearing these 3D glasses to look at itself. It's like, oh, what would I look like if it looked like I was three-dimensional and looked like I was limited? Here we go.
We're searching for reality, but because it's reality that we're searching for, it can't be something that comes later on. It can't be something that you one day realize or recognize and then it suddenly appears and then everything seems different. Well, what would that change be? Would it be a new reality? Then that negates the whole object of the search. The search is for reality. And where does that search take place if not in reality? What is the nature of any experience? As we start to dismantle the more finer building blocks of that whole thing, we start to discern that actually reality must be this, and you can't experience anything other than reality, and also you can't be anything other than reality. When you realize that reality does not have to appear a certain way, you don't have to appear a certain way, feel a certain way, that is the end of the search and then the relaxation into what was always here, the ground of the search. Wherever you feel you are on the search, what is the nature of what is experienced? Everything changes, yet nothing changes.
Yeah.
Because nothing needed to change to arrive anywhere, because there was nowhere to arrive at but to simply be here now. And since that is unavoidable, you're always here, you're always now.
It's kind of like, oh, I can see what this is clearly now. Like, you know, this person is like a sort of a within what I am. It's not that I am this person and reality is somewhere else. It's the person is appearing as a completely inseparable part, even though there's no parts, partless part of this reality. And it doesn't take the person away. The person's still there doing its thing, but it's really, you kind of clearly see what the person is.
Yeah. Well, what is the person? The person is nothing other than an experience. Isn't that just another experience amongst many experiences to be had now? So the experiences are many and the experiences change, but what remains the same? It's the experiencing itself, or the awareness itself. Is there a difference between the experiences and the experiencing and the experiencer? Well, the experiencer and the experiencing are clearly one. What are the experiences? Are they different from the experiencing itself, the capacity for the experiences?
They're never separate. Like, this whole experience is one whole. It's totally one whole. You can describe it, you can cut it all sorts of different ways if you want, but just realise there's no actual cutting going on.
We can talk about the various things experienced. We can talk about the various experiences being had now. And we can talk about the fact of experiencing. You know, another way to talk about it is like the fact of subjectivity, the fact of being aware. Are you aware? You can't find that capacity of awareness, of experiencing. You know that you're aware, yet can you find that ultimate subjectivity? Can you find that ultimate witness? No. And if you find a sense of me, the witness, then that is another experience.
Yeah.
Not at all separate from you, the ultimate experiencer.
Yes, you can say you're aware. This is what thought does. It splits it up. It's its whole job is to split things up and organize and come up with ideas and narrate. The narrator convinces you, like, there's a narrator separate from experience, you know, and I'm a separate thing that's experiencing the narrator. It's like splitting. It's just reality vibrating within itself. It's like the patterns start to look like characters, and they appear as thoughts, and they appear as feelings, and suddenly you've got a whole scene of separate individuals.
if you just consider something you're experiencing now, what is sensation other than awareness, other than experiencing? So it's not like there are material objects removed from you, only the sensing, the experiencing of this, and the labels that, and the concepts, the stories that get attached somehow. But what is that cognizing but another mode of the same awareness, same experiencing? It all feels real because the feeling is the awareness of the real. And that's all there is. And that most intimate experience is you. There is only that subjectivity.
Yeah.
Like, it's the fact of experiencing itself, and it's always primary. It's not like you arrive at some kind of a void or abyss. It's that life continues to unfold.
Yeah.
And we can't say why or how, the mechanics of it, but life continues to unfold or to blossom through experiencing and through experiences.
Yes.
The only thing that has changed, you could say, is all is you, and you're always home, and you're not limited. You're not restricted at all in any way. You're not definable.
Yeah.
You're free. You're always safe. You're always at peace.
That's actually what it's all about, really, isn't it? Because it's not about the metaphysical implications of it all, of what this might be, or whatever, you know, like, or what are its qualities and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's realizing profoundly that nothing's missing. You're always home, even when you don't feel like you're home. It's somehow inexplicably just whole and fulfilled. And even the lack of fulfillment feeling is itself more of the wholeness than the fulfillment. And that's kind of something you can't really think yourself into. Anything's allowed to be. The kind of the lines between different states are kind of blurred.
As it continues to unfold and continues to experience itself in unlimited ways, there are no right or wrong experiences as part of that unfolding. And that's the recognition. It is. That no experience in that unbounded outpouring is out of place. All is home, and all is appearing at home. And that includes what you once felt was inappropriate, undesirable, wrong. And so you see that it's all beyond ideas of good and bad, right and wrong. It's not a conceptual right, but there's something so right and so appropriate about every arising. That's the recognition. Because every arising is nothing but you, that ultimate subject, appearing as apparent objectivity.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's like reality's trying to experience itself as a human being and whatever else. And the human beings are trying to get away from that and go back to quote unquote source, or where they've come from, you know. So they're not separate things. This mind can turn itself around and investigate where it's come from. It's like, look at these things more deeply, like these flavors of existence. You've got to kind of keep investigating and going, okay, have I stopped short here? Am I still thinking there's something separate here that is somehow just splitting myself off somehow from experience? You're there. That's reality. That's not separate from where you are right now. But the you that you've taken yourself to be isn't what you thought yourself to be. Human beings are just completely inseparable waves of the ocean. That's what the whole is doing at that moment as that particular pattern of consciousness. Yeah. Is already totally whole. That's the primordial original condition. Before any of our ideas and before any of our concepts or interpretations or assumptions about it, it's all made of the same stuff. It's all one, and it's all somehow inexplicably perfect and whole beyond human understanding.